And so I really like that you said that, dude, because stubbornness is like just one of those things that you can call it resilience, stubbornness, whatever you want. But I think one of the key things that like I've really liked and I've been really trying to focus on is simply execution. So I have a buddy that I grew up with. He missed one question on the SAT.
Yeah.
Smartest guy. He went to Harvard, did 4 years, and he did 2 years at Yale. Dude, brilliant. Like Mark Zuckerberg style. Guess where he's at? He's in his freaking mama's basement eating peanut butter, bro, and I have no idea what he's doing. Like straight up. Like just straight up. I have no idea what he's doing. I'm like, gosh, man, it just drives me crazy because so much potential is there.
Yeah.
Then I realized, dude, it doesn't matter how smart you are, because I'm really not that smart, dude.
Yeah.
But one thing I am decent at is executing.
Yo, we're live. So we got another episode of Adversity Kings. We got special guest Wylie Hawkins. How you going?
Dude, I'm freaking amazing, bro. How are you?
I'm on no sleep. That's why I just said how you going. So
I was wondering that. I was like, is that his saying? What'd you say?
how you going?
How you going?
Yeah, on absolute no sleep, dude. I was, what is it? I think I flew out Wednesday to the state of Washington. It's a 5.5 hour flight, and I didn't have a direct flight, the first flight out there, so I had a connect flight, and that was connecting in Dallas. And so it was 9.5 hours of traveling Wednesday. I landed at 10 o'clock, stay up, run some meetings, and just had like the jet lag, whatever, from flying across. And from there, I'm up till midnight, and I get back up at 5. So I think I had 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And then all day, Thursday, work, meetings, and then I catch the red eye, don't sleep whatsoever.
Oh,
and now we're here
eye.
all day,
Yeah.
just work, meetings, nonstop. We did a podcast earlier today too.
Yeah, no, you've been crushing it, dude. All right, so I'm a big believer and I'll never take anything except a nonstop, even if it costs me an extra like $800 to $1,200. Do you have a limit on what you'd pay for a nonstop?
I didn't even buy these flights. So the people that I met with, they
they're
flew me
buying
out.
you.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, just as long as I fly first and I prefer nonstop, then
we're good.
I'm good to go. If you can get me private, that'd be even better. Because like with first, you get about like right here, and it's like, that's about it. It's still uncomfortable, especially when it's 5.5 hours.
Yeah. I was learning something the other day. So I think you probably heard it around like Instagram and social media. It's like when you're in first class, number one, you move differently. But number two, you start meeting people and you have connections. So I was like, all right, like, let me try this out, right? So 2 things, guys. So if you guys are watching this live, I'm wearing a 3-piece suit, just got it custom tailored. But I will say this gentleman I'm sitting across was the one that inspired me to do so.
Yeah.
Now, the guy that closed me is I'm sitting down first class, like right when you walk in, and this guy, this baller dude, he walks on, he's got a nice tailored suit, and I'm like, yo, where'd you get that? Because, we're both flying from Charlotte, where I'm located at, and he's like, oh, man, I can't tell you that. And I was like, you can't give me the inside tailor? He's like, I can't do it. And so we get to talking, and long story short, I realized that this guy's worth around $228 million.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang. And I was like, okay. And what I learned from this guy was a lot, but the number one thing was the connection through his tax team, his lawyers, and his accountants. Because I think as you get bigger, you well know this. That's one of the biggest battles. And so today, we'll talk about, if you guys are listening, how to make a ton of money, but number 2, how to keep it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the next strategy, dude.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how you made a ton of money, baby.
Yeah, dude. So for myself, both of us as well, it's all been insurance. You know what I mean? So I made my first meal at 22 years old, gross money. You know what I mean? So that was my first, $1 million was 22, and it was 2.6 million on the 1099, and you just cut that in half. You know what I mean? So that was gross before leads were purchased, before office space, before taxes. So there wasn't even really anything left over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was making more money the year prior when I was 21, and I made 345,000. I feel like I had even more money left over because I didn't have any lead expense or anything like that. So there was way more profitability, and I had way more control over. I was just managing an insurance team opposed to being a franchise owner. And I think a lot of people, they get deceived by titles and building other people's businesses. They don't realize even if you have this title that continues to elevate, the responsibility continues to elevate. And if your potential for equity building and like ownership or at least profitability doesn't increase, you put yourself in a position where you're just burning more cash. If you make more cash but burn more cash, you're not making more cash. Like you said, it's more a matter of what do you keep opposed to just what are you spending.
Yeah. No, I was actually just talking to my buddies, and so right now it took me 4 years to get to $1 million.
Yeah.
I started when I was 20, and now I'm 25, but it took me 4 years to get to $1 million. And then the next guy that we taught, it took him 2.
Yeah.
And then now we have a guy that did it in 1.
Wow.
And so now we're thinking, all right, who's
That's
the guy
scary.
that can do it in 6, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the most valuable thing is like, if you're a business owner, if you're teaching people and guiding them, I think the number one thing that I've been learning is you take your knowledge and then you just pass it down.
Yeah.
Right. And that's been so crucial and pivotal because we were talking numbers a little bit at dinner before this. And like I was showing you, like week 1, our number 50 guy made $7,000. Number 50. Number 1 made $30K in a week.
Yeah.
And dude, he lives out on the West Coast. He still lives with his mom and dad. You know, he's got a wife. They're moving out. They're buying the house. But dude, he started 4 months ago.
Yeah.
He just put 30 racks in his bank account in a week.
Yeah.
Nuts,
Yeah,
dude.
the first time that happens, it's an insane feeling. But I think the first $1,000 for me was more exciting than probably like all the money that I've made or spent.
Yeah.
I still think back to that surreal moment of like just, you know, a year prior to that, being 17 years old and food bank lines, the food stamps, and like, you know, just $20 was exciting. And so to make $1,000 from a sale and communicating to an older lady of, hey, you need to have your final expenses protected. What if you had an extra $30,000 in a life insurance policy and you were paying $100, $200 a month to make sure whenever you pass away, your family's taken care of? She's like, yes, absolutely. And in a matter of, you know, an hour, I made $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, my mind was blown. I called my mom up. I'm in tears, and I'm like, you know, life's going to be changed forever. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of volatility and a lot of lack of transparency in the sales world because a lot of people, you know, they flex these big numbers and we're doing this and we're doing that, but they don't flex the pain, the process, the people that quit on you, when you lose a bunch of money, when you have setbacks. That's the biggest thing is most of it is setbacks. 60, 70, 80% of entrepreneurship, when you talk to guys that are $100 million plus worth, they have way more wisdom. Yeah, they have way more money, but it's what typically correlates between them is you see a lot more endurance. Like, oh no, like when I talk to these guys, they're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, like I've just put up with 78% of loss. And most people, they go through their second loss, their third loss, their fourth loss, and they quit. Like business isn't like Floyd Mayweather. You don't go 50-0.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? Like
you start 0-6.
You start 0-6.
And then you get 1-6.
And really you make hundreds of millions by breathing and enduring through going 10-50. By going 100 and 500. You know what I mean? Like you lost 500 times, but you made 100 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
and
most people can't lose that much because it beats up their ego. I was just talking about this with the guy prior. I was like, dude, people don't have a problem with the pain of the process. They have a problem with the pain of humiliation. Because you're more worried about being accepted by the public than you are by your faith and by God. By the process and the self-development. Like, dude, I love myself. I don't care what you think of me. I've lost. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, no, I got a lot to unpack there, dude. One thing, I was talking to this guy named Timon, and I just hired him as like
From Lion King?
Dude, it's so funny.
You should hire Pumbaa too.
Dude, where's Pumbaa, bro?
Yeah.
Like, I get on with him.
Timon.
I was like, yo, how do you say your name just so I get it right? He's like, Timon. I was like Timon and Pumbaa, and he's like, Pumbaa. He's like from South Africa.
I was gonna say, yeah, what now? He's from South Africa?
Yes, it's even better.
Oh my God.
And Timon, if you're watching this, I love you, baby. You know that, dude.
He's quitting. you just blame me.
No, I gave him
Timon, if you're watching this, DM me.
Timon. I gave him hell right when I met him, but I was like, do you have a brother? He's like, yeah. I was like, what's his name? And he's like, whatever, like Mark. I'm like, okay, how did this happen?
Yeah.
But one thing, so he believes in God just like we do. And I think this is such a powerful framework to work through. I think if you're a Christian or not, right, there's a lesson in here is Jesus was perfect. And the world still condemned him, hung him on a cross, and crucified him.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, look, guys, me and Tristan are far from perfect.
Yeah.
And all of us are, dude. And I think one of the most powerful lessons I've been learning is like, dude, it doesn't matter like how amazing you are. I think what's the most powerful thing is becoming 110% yourself.
Yeah.
Because the second that you just own, this is Wylie Augustus Hawkins, this is Tristan Dlabik, dude, and they feel that power, they feel that authenticity, then it allows other people to walk in the exact same footsteps.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been learning a ton about that. But I want to take it back a little bit because
I want to know where you who came up with your name?
Dude, my pops.
What did he base it all off?
So Wylie means cunning, slick, charismatic, And
did he go to the dictionary? Does he have a favorite movie? Like,
dude, no one has an answer. So I think genuinely, like, I was supposed to be called like Charles, Charlie.
Oh, thank God you're not a Charles. I hate Charles.
I like that name, dog. I like Charlie.
I hate Charlie.
I want to name my first kid Charlie because he's going to run around with a freaking torch around my backyard going nuts. I just know it, dude.
What's Charlie and a torch?
Because, dude, I was a menace when I was a kid. And so I just know my kids are going to give me absolute hell.
Yeah.
So I can just
That's our
picture them.
blessing.
Yeah.
Because I was a menace too, bro.
It really is. And I think there's a lot of power in that because it says in the Bible, look, the wise man would want to be in the house of sorrow. Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
And please, everyone that knows the Bible really well, fact check all this. Fact check anything that we say about this. That's super important.
Yeah.
The wise man would rather be in the house of sorrow. The fool would rather be in the house of pleasure. I read this, Tristan, and I go, why is that? Why is that? Let me ask you a question, and it's rhetorical. Every time you made a pivotal change in your life, has it not been right after one of the hardest times in your life?
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. Every time that I was either relapsing or I had a friend die or something serious happened in my life, dude, that's when I had to look around myself and go, ah, shit, I can't be here anymore, dude. And rock bottom is the strongest foundation you can have. So I really want to speak to the listener right now. If you guys are seriously going through anything, I need you guys to understand, battle the storm. Number one, battle the motherfucking storm, okay? That's the first thing. And then from there, dude, you got to look yourself in the mirror and go, dude, I don't like that about myself. And here's the deal. I was talking to my buddy about this. I said, look, dude, you can't do a complete 180 because this is what's going to happen. I've done so many 180s in my life and I've failed every single time.
Yeah.
If me and you try to do a complete 180 in the direction we're headed, and let's just say we're like, all messed up right now, you're going to fail within 3-4 weeks, dude. Maybe a little longer, but you're going to fail because it's so hard. But if you can do it in increments and you can just get better slowly and slowly. And so I really want to share a story to drive this point home. So there's a story of this guy. He's like 380 pounds. He's like 5'10". He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Right? Let's call this guy, let's just call him Diesel. All right.
Yeah.
So Diesel, he goes and he says, look, I need to get in shape for myself. Every single day, Tristan, for 3 weeks, he wakes up and he just puts his gym clothes on. That's it, dude. Just puts his gym clothes on.
Yeah.
Then he gets that down and he stays consistent with that. The next 3 weeks, he decides to drive himself in the gym and he lifts up the heaviest weight in the gym, the front door. Then from there, dude, after he does that for 3 weeks, he goes in the gym and he works out for 5 minutes. Then from there, he adds on top of that, but he just starts habit stacking. And so anybody in a place of sorrow, in a place of pain, I really want you guys to focus on habit stacking, just inch by inch. Because when you look back, and if you grow by 1% in a year, that's 365%. Dude, that's 3 evolutions of you, bro. And so I'll share this with you, dude. And I haven't shared this live with anybody. I actually haven't shared this with a lot of people, dog. So I come from a family of severe addiction.
Yeah.
And I was in a place, freshman year of college, I woke up and I would literally drink coffee with Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
And I blacked out for over 200 days straight. And there was a point where there was a week where I don't remember any of the week and I thought I was in a dream. That dream was actually when I was alive or when I was awake and I was soberish.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where every morning I would wake up and my whole entire body would shake.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't walk unless I had liquor in me.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow, dude. So 2 things are going to happen. This body, dude, this engine ain't going to go.
Dude, they say the withdrawal from liquor is like one of the worst in the world.
It's insane. Liquor is the poison that I believe the devil uses. Like, think about how society, think about every bad thing that's happened in your life. And I don't know about you, it all started with alcohol. It led me to other things, or it was just alcohol that led me there. And obviously myself. I think that's a spirit from the devil, genuinely. It's a spirit. It's called a spirit.
Yeah,
right?
literally.
So be aware of that. There's so many things, verbiage and words that you use are some of the most powerful things ever, right? Me and my girl, we were talking about what does the word pride mean, right? Because we were talking about affirmations. I'm strong, I'm powerful, but look, the pride comes before the fall.
Yeah.
And so we have to be really in tune with what we speak over ourselves and our tongue, because you can tame anything on the planet. We've tamed freaking monkeys in the zoo, lions in the zoo, dogs, cats. We've tamed people as well, right? Naturally. The one thing we can't tame is our tongue. Because if you get in a frenzy of rage, you're going to say some things maybe, like for example, like me, if me and my girl got in a fight and it was blown up, I might say some things I never meant.
Yeah.
But then it can never be unsaid. Irreversible, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things. You can never master your tongue and your speech, but I think it's super important to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And so let me get back to the story. So I'm freaking all jacked up, right? Like every single day I'm waking up like this. And I jumped in a pool when I all hammered and I literally busted my whole face open, like almost killed myself, like split my whole head open. I go into work the next day because like the thing I've always been good at is just working hard. Like I love work, dude. I literally freaking love work, bro. And my boss is like, Wylie, like you're going to get fired if you ever show up like this again. And I was like, if I lose that job, I lose everything. Now, some other things happen that I'm not.
What was the job?
Dude, I was just working at I was a server at Maroon Creek Club down in Aspen, Colorado. Okay. And I was like, dude, if I lose that, I lose everything. I was sleeping in a park and I used to get woken up by sprinkler heads.
Yeah.
Ooh, I remember that, dude. Anywho, I said, all right, look, motherfucker, we're going to make a change right here. Dude, my first habit, bro, was literally going to bed before midnight. Because what mom always told me is...
Yeah, nothing good.
Say it.
Nothing good happens after midnight.
Say it again. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
like
on
a
now.
Preacher.
Nah, for real, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is the spirit, dude. And, like, you feel it too, man. We're going to wake... Like, the Holy Spirit's one of the most powerful things. And, like, I think people talk about a gut feeling. Like, I need y'all to understand a gut feeling is not a gut feeling, dude. That is the Holy Spirit telling you two things. Number one, don't do it. Or number one, continue down your path. And that is by far the most important thing for y'all to listen to. And, look, I can share so much about, like, my journey and my walk and my conviction in God because I was the polar opposite person that was so far away from him.
Yeah.
Right? Now, every single day, I would go to bed before midnight. And so that kept me out of trouble. Then what I would do is, dude, I just jumped rope. I just had to break a sweat. So that was my next habit. Yeah. Within a year, dude, I was a completely different person. And then what happened to me was I got on my hands and knees one day because I still felt lost. I still felt insecure about where I was in myself and where I was in my situation. And I go, God, I need you to answer right now, dude. Show me yourself, show me yourself, show me yourself. And boom, next thing you know, I get a phone call. That phone call was my mentor's admin in life insurance. And they're like, yo, Wylie, you need to check this thing out. I said, dude, I'm so broke right now. I'll do anything for money, man. Like literally, like whatever it is, like put it in front of me. I'll freaking do it. And so that's why I'm so convicted in what I do, because then from there, I get into the insurance space. Yes, I start making a ton of money. Yes, we start helping a ton of people. But I found my shepherd. Shout out to Edward, the encourager, dude. I love you, bro. Seriously, man. And he walked me through what a real relationship with God means. And so you want children, correct? Okay, so let me ask you a couple of questions. So here are my two frameworks that I think really drove home the relationship side with God. If you had a child and he's 8 years old and you get a phone call from the police office, you said, Charlie, what would his name be?
Charlie, you can say that.
All right, let's just do Charlie so we don't have to think about it. So whatever. All right, let's just say Charlie. And Charlie is like, and the police goes, hey, he just stole a Snickers bar from 7-Eleven. Would you be a little mad? Yeah. Would you still love him? No. Yeah. You'd still love him. Look at Tristan. I'm like, motherfucker, you better roll with this shit.
Your whole story's ruined.
I'm like,
that's the best one.
Dude, no, when people do that, I'm like kicking them up. I'm like, yo, come on, bro. You busted my balls. Yeah. All right, so stick with me, ladies and gentlemen. So he'd be mad. Now let's bring it to the extreme. He gets a DUI when he's 16. He's been called in. You have to go to the police office, see him locked up. You're going to be pissed, disappointed, whatever you're feeling. But are you still going to love him? 100%. I have sinned through and through and through and through. And I know that it's my Father's love, bigger than my actual own pops, that will always love me. That's number one. That's the first framework that really brought me closer to God. Number two was this. If you had a child and then, you're married, everything, and he has this huge game or math test or whatever it is that's so important to him. He comes downstairs, y'all cooking him breakfast and stuff, and you're like, hey, Charlie, how you doing this one? Are you ready for your math test? Nothing. Like, that's weird. You keep asking him questions at breakfast. Nothing. You walk him out to the bus stop, bus picks him. Hey, Charlie, have a good day. Nothing. Like, oh, man. Comes home. Hey, Charlie, how was that math test? You get nothing, dude. He just runs right up to his room, bro. He just cuts you out. Charlie, dinner's ready. Comes downstairs, eats nothing. You just fed him. You clothed him. I got Invisalign in. And so I'm talking where they're like, hey, when you get in Invisalign, you're going to have a list. So I'm trying to articulate here, folks. Anywho, so that's that. Now, you clothe him, you fed him, you care for him, you love him. And dude, he can't even say nothing to you. That's what I was doing from 0 to 20 years old, dude. Like, prayer is just saying, God, thank you so much for literally the ability to have breath in my lungs, to be able to walk and see today, to be able to be in front of Tristan Dlabik and share the good news about making money, about serving people, about helping people. And that's like the two frameworks that honestly changed everything for me. And because religion was man-made a long time. Like Catholicism was one of the biggest first religions. And now I will continue to do my research to understand this stuff because this is a big message. And like, God, I get it, guys. You're like, dude, I just don't want this podcast. No, this podcast is going to be a lot more than this, okay? Yeah. But the biggest thing is that relationship side, dude. Because it's like, dude, he's just your father. Like, he just loves you, bro. He made you imperfect. Like, he made you, like, we're imperfect. Like, he made us beautifully and wonderfully made. And so I think that's so important to understand. Like, dude, when you doubt yourself, when you're wondering, why do I got this thing on me? Why is this that? Nah, bro. Like, dude, like, you're amazing. Yeah. And, like, y'all need to understand that. And I feel like my conviction, what I'm learning is like, we have to pass this down to other people. And so that's been my whole goal with my entire team, dude, is like, I've vowed to myself, if someone is willing to put in the work, I will bleed out of the business until like they will never fail. I will go out of the business before they do. Yeah. And dude, that is why we have the #1 paid result in all of insurance. And insurance is such a massive industry. Like Tristan saw it himself. I'll say it again. Our #1 guy made $30,000 in a week. Our number 50 made $7,158. And now it doesn't matter about the money, but the money is the biggest measuring stick. Because if you make more money, dude, you're growing your tool belt. You're growing your attributes, your skills, yeah? And so, dude, my whole thing is, how can I make someone a better communicator? How can I get someone, dialed in with their fitness? Because that's the whole engine that makes this thing run. Dude, how can I make them better stewards to the relationship? And that comes first with her. And she's been teaching me a ton about that. A ton. Yeah. Patience, dude. Proverbs 31. Like everything it says about a good wife. If y'all are wondering, like, what are the attributes, what are the non-negotiables in a good wife, dude, go and read Proverbs 31. And here's the deal, dude. If you guys are into the listener, if y'all are into self-development, dude, read Proverbs. The wisest man on the planet was Solomon. He had 100 and some odd wives. Dude, he had everything under the sun. And he literally has a book in the Bible. If you just read Proverbs, dude, you could read 3 sentences and get more wisdom than you ever would from this podcast or anybody else. And dude, success leaves clues, baby. Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to follow Solomon? Even if you don't believe in Christ, even if you don't believe in God, dude, why don't you go and follow the wisest man that ever lived?
Yeah. Listen, so everything in regard to faith and the alignment with business, like it all, like for somebody to consider that it doesn't align, you find those people have some missing piece inside. You know what I mean? There's an emptiness, there's a lack of fulfillment, or they're chasing something that doesn't fulfill them infinitely. You know what I mean? Or it's like you'll find in faith, and obviously, like I believe it's only in our faith based in Christianity, believing in Jesus, that it's an eternal fulfillment. It's not I got to constantly look for a new high, a new thing to make me feel more wholesome and better. But I think it's very simple as well. I don't overcomplicate it. It's just a relationship. It's just communicating with God and letting him know that I acknowledge and appreciate the highs, the lows that we perceive as high and low. I think, God looks at it. And if I were to look at it, like trying from that universal perspective, almost that godly like perspective as, there's seasons that you harvest and there's seasons that you plant. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, like, we label our planting season as a losing season. When you're not earning what you want to be earning, when you don't have the woman of your dreams, the life of your dreams, the car, the house, all the materialistic things, you're just planting. You can't always harvest. One has to come before the other. And I think God uses, and I know God uses those seasons to not necessarily increase, but create, through that free will, that appreciation of him. Because if it was always harvest, there would be no need for appreciation, no need for faith. So that's why I think I love one of the things that I simply love when it comes to the Word of God is, we're saved by faith through grace, right? It's like a man with faith but without works is dead.
100%, dude.
know?
Because how many people do you know and they're like, dude, like I have a relationship with God, but like, for example, I know a guy and I'm like, he's like, I was talking to him and I was sharing like my truth with my relationship with God. And he's like, I'm a Christian too. I said, really, dude? I've known you for 5 years, bro. And I've never even thought that. I honestly thought you were the furthest thing from a Christian.
Yeah.
Faith without works.
Yeah.
Great example, right? Now, this is funny. So quick question. Are you in a season of harvesting or are you planting the seeds right now?
It's always a matter of perspective. And destination or goal or desire when it comes to like my financial gain. So I never look at it whether I've made, 100,000+ in a month as, oh man, I'm harvesting. I've always looked at it as like, I'm planting. I'm always planning when it comes to kingdom building. I'm building my kingdom. So like, I think the very day that you look at it as like, it's time to harvest. Well, now if you get out of planting, you're no longer expanding. There's no longer potential for a harvest to come.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be harvesting in other areas that just manifest in themselves, but like look at it as like I'm not looking to have a massive harvest. I'm looking to have a massive like planting. I just want to plant more seeds. I want to impact more people. I want to expand and build and grow. Like building a business. I don't want to build a business to sell. I want to build a business to build because I have this blood that runs through me that has this, I don't know, you can call it ancestral desires of I desire to be a king. You know what I mean? So it's like, if your name isn't, it's not a matter of on it, if it isn't in it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they want their name on it. The building, which is fine. Like we all have that legacy desire. I do as well. But legacy comes from what you put in, and then that bleeds without. Everything like external happens internal first. So I think for me, it's very, very simple when I look at harvesting. I don't have a desire for a massive gain overnight because I know my gain is happening every day. It's like on a daily basis, I'm harvesting in different areas of my life.
Yeah, dude, I like that, bro. I mean, you taught me something right there. I think the gain is planting the seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight
it's
up.
The process.
Like, dude, that's what I've been realizing. And like, fun fact, bamboo takes like 7 or 10 years before it sprouts.
Yeah, the bamboo tree, yeah.
Dude, and I freaking love that, bro. Cause like you're like, how haven't I like known about, like we were talking on the table, you're like, how haven't I like really like heard more about like your business? And I'm like, bro, like we're straight up bamboo.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come January 1st, 2025, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nightmare for a
done
lot of
deal
people,
for a lot
dude.
of people.
But I think like, honestly, what I've been realizing, dude, is you just taught me a lesson right there, man, is I think the more you plant, the more fruit that grows. But like, dude, if you can teach other people how to plant and then how to harvest, bro, like that's really what it's all about. Cause like, here's my deal on legacy. You know Alex Ramosi, of course. Yeah. Have you heard his take on legacy?
Bits and pieces, obviously.
All right. So if you guys haven't, this comes from Alex Ramosi, so I'm going to give him credit for this. But look, if we were at a casino and depending on your skill set, you acquire more chips.
Yeah.
But then at a casino, you can go and cash it in with the teller and then you get money. Great. Awesome. Now in life, dude, you acquire all this stuff through your skill set, but then it all goes back to the board because do you know your grandfather's name?
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Dude, I only know my freaking grandpa's name, bro. They won't remember Wylie Augustus Hawkins, dog. Yeah. They will not, dude. And so what I have realized is when I go to a funeral, I just went to a funeral the other day, and the only thing I was thinking about, dude, was how that guy made me feel. And dude, he made me feel amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Like when I laughed with him, like I always smiled when I was with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, like he taught me some things too, but it was generally how that guy made me feel. And so like, that's where my head's been at is like, when I'm around people, dude, I've been through so much pain and so much suffering that if I see it in your eyes, dude, I have to do something.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I'll be honest. I was helping these 2 kids from Portugal. Like they were hitchhiking and I saw them at a gas station and they're like, yo, can I get a ride? I was like, yeah, cool. And then I was helping out with their business, but I could tell one of them like wasn't really interested. I said, hey dude, do you mind if I asked you something? He said, yeah. I said, how is the best way to speak to you and deliver a message? And he goes, well, I like when people speak to me like this and I can hear it better. Okay, Awesome. Now you have to learn how to speak to them, because Luka Doncic in the NBA is the best at changing speeds. And so you have to be the best at changing speeds in business, because I can talk to you blunt, bold, and aggressive. Now, if I had a guy that was timid and shy and he sat like this and he was quiet, dude, I'd have to figure out a different way to deliver the message. So that's just like a quick tip. And then the other thing that I want to talk about on that is, when you're delivering a message, you have to know what's your audience, and it's not about just the message, is it being heard? So that's what I asked you at dinner. I said, who's your audience on the podcast? You're like, sales folks. I was like, great, dude, that's freaking right up my alley, bro. But I think that's important, because we're always thinking in our own selfish ways of, what do I want to get across? No. What is the person on the camera? What do y'all need to hear? And that's all I'm thinking about. What do you guys need to hear? How can I help you? And so drop some comments on how Tristan can help you guys. Yeah. Genuinely, dude, that's what he's here for, bro. He's built something that's incredible. 202,000 followers, bro. Yeah. Building a podcast, dude, helping people learn how to make money, be good stewards to themselves. But you got to figure out, what do these people want to freaking hear?
It's supply and demand too, because I think of that, and I think of like, my brand has built slowly but surely, and other individuals, they've built quick things, but they're not sustainable, and it's not, long lasting. And that's like, when I talk to mentors, individuals that I look up to, I aspire to be like, that are on the path to billions of dollars or close to billions of dollars, it's always building for sustainability. And it's a simple formula. It's working, waiting, and not compromising character. And so like, when I look at the brand building, it's a super simple formula: supply and demand. So when it comes to marketing and building a reputation in a brand, everybody's building a reputation. Everybody's building a brand. Some just choose to get paid for it, and some choose to pay others for it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're paying with two resources. You're paying with your time, and you're paying with your money. You know what I mean? Because when you're using your time, you're using your money as well. But the formula with supply and demand when it comes to marketing and reputation building is, the world has a high supply of dishonesty, lack of transparency, and just fugazi stuff when it comes to brand building and business building. So there's low demand for a majority of people's content. People be like, why is my content not doing well? Why is my brand not doing well? Well, you are trying the shortcut path, which actually just ends up in you getting cut short. You actually don't get the desired results, long-term sustainable results of building something that's legitimate, because you want to go rent the Huracan and rent this and fake that, when you really could have just spent an extra couple years, saved the money, invested the money back into building your business more legitimately, or even building a legitimate business, and it would have just costed you an extra 3 years of like humiliation per se. And so where you actually have low supply is honesty, transparency, building a legitimate business. That's in high demand more than ever. Like, we just had a massive political swing from predominantly blue the last 4 years to now predominantly red.
Big red.
Because of supply and demand. You know what I mean? There was a low supply politically of honesty, transparency, government efficiency, and ultimately just the desire for like economical progression for our nation. Same deal with businesses. People are about to enter a massive swing like no other of fake entrepreneurs and all these online coaches and people that have been faking it for the last 6 months, couple years. All of the fake people are about to be exposed more than ever, because the real ones are slowly getting exposed, that have put their head down for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I don't even look at us as like, I don't think we've gotten started.
No.
You know what I mean? So I don't consider us like,
I'm still stretching.
High level. You know what I mean? I look at us as amateurs. I'm 6 years, 7 years into insurance, same as you. So it's like, we're amateurs. You know what I mean? Like, everything is still practice right now. We're still figuring things out, what to do, what not to do. But when you stay true to honesty, hey, I'm just figuring this out. I've made some decent money, but in the grand scheme of things, here's what I've done well. Here's what I haven't done well. That's in high demand. People want more of that. They want relatability.
What's your take on, I got two questions. This is a quick one, and then I got a really good one for you. What's your take on being vulnerable?
So I don't even I think I almost think of
Do you think you're vulnerable?
Yeah. So here I'll explain this when it comes to like different terminology of like explaining how you operate, and it's similar to like Hormozy. Almost when someone prefaces, "I'd like to be honest." You know what I mean? Like, what are you? Are you not honest sometimes? You know what I mean? Like, if you have to say, "Hey, do you mind if I tell you the truth?" Like, what do you lie 99% of the time? If you have to tell me, "Do you mind if I tell you the truth?"
Like that.
Exactly.
Like that.
So thinking of that of like, hey, like, can I be vulnerable? Why would you not be vulnerable? You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong? What is vulnerability? You know, exposing the full story. So it's just another word for honesty. So I don't I don't have to like ask my girl and question her, hey, do you love me? You know what I mean? Like, or like in prior business relationships where like, you know, if you've ever worked in a business where they overemphasize, especially in sales, different like descriptive terminology, like, hey, are you loyal? Are you going to be loyal?
Right.
Super loyalty is like, why are we so obsessed with something that should be like known, common sense?
Non-negotiable,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's the non-negotiable. So now you get into things that it's like, maybe this is a lower level person that is using manipulation, insecurity, or something that doesn't have to, like, this is common sense, right? So vulnerability for me is like, that just is a way of life. Like, I'm going to give you the full story, whether you like it or not. So that's up to you, you know what I mean, to determine like how you feel about it. I don't need to worry about how's this going to make him feel and like what's that going to do to me. No, here's the full story. Do what you want with it.
Yeah, yeah.
To live any other way is stupid.
Hey, everyone that watches this, do y'all think Tristan's vulnerable?
My dad's name's Christian.
Really? There we go, baby. There we go. We got Charlie, Christian, Tristan. Come on.
Yeah, bro.
All right, let me ask you this, dude. So someone asked me this the other day.
Have you heard this ringing? I swear it's ringing.
Dude, you're
Like
buzzing.
text. Yeah,
you're buzzing,
I
baby.
put it on
You're buzzing like a bee, dude.
silent
It's disrespectful.
multiple times.
Just kidding.
It keeps saying silent. And I'm like, dude, I swear to God, I'm hearing it buzz. I'm like,
I thought it was me, dude. I put mine on the carpet.
I was like, maybe it's his.
No.
And when I keep hearing it buzz, go ahead. What were you saying?
What do you think your competitive edge is?
Again, it goes back to that because I always look at it as like the supply and demand. I look at like just common, like someone's got better data. Someone's got a better marketed resource. Somebody's got a better technology system. Somebody's going to have just some type of better uncontrollable business feature per se. You know what I mean?
But before all that.
Yeah. So here's
that.
what I'm getting at. So like to truly understand how you develop a competitive edge, it goes back to the Kobe and Jordan complex of putting in an insane amount of work into yourself, in your product, your skill set, and like having this tunnel vision on, I'm going to focus on one thing for 20 years. And I'm going to focus on it obsessively, very controllably, of putting in the most time, the most intention, and the most passion. Because there's a lot of people that put time into the sales world, but don't have much to show for it because of the lack of the other two. No intention, which is just a brother or sister of passion. When you're passionate, you're intentional. When you're not passionate, you're not intentional. So like my competitive edge is what some would call discipline, I would call stubbornness. I am the most stubborn person in the world because I will build until death, and everybody else has a deadline of like, hey, if it doesn't happen in 3 years, I'm quitting. If this doesn't happen in 7 years, I'm quitting. I'll quit when I die. You can't compete with an individual like that.
Dude, I freaking love that, bro. I mean, honestly, because I was expecting a completely different answer, and I think this is something that's interesting. So relationships nowadays, what's the divorce rate?
Over 50%.
It's over 50%, dude. Everybody that I've met in the field and has relationships over 50 years in marriage, dude, the number one component that I've seen is they're both stubborn as hell.
Yeah.
Like my grandma and grandpa, God bless you guys, you know I love you, but you guys are both stubborn.
Yeah.
Like seriously, dude, they've been married for 68 or 71 years.
Oh my God.
And dude, they're both just so stubborn because they're not willing to ever give up on each other. Dude,
Yeah.
No matter how bad the storm gets, no matter what they've done. And thank goodness they've been good to each other. And so I really like that you said that, dude, because stubbornness is like just one of those things that you can call it resilience, stubbornness, whatever you want. But I think one of the key things that like I've really liked and I've been really trying to focus on is simply execution. So I have a buddy that I grew up with. He missed one question on the SAT.
Yeah.
Smartest guy. He went to Harvard, did 4 years, and he did 2 years at Yale. Dude, brilliant. Like Mark Zuckerberg style. Guess where he's at? He's in his freaking mama's basement eating peanut butter, bro, and I have no idea what he's doing. Like straight up. Like just straight up. I have no idea what he's doing. I'm like, gosh, man, it just drives me crazy because so much potential is there.
Yeah.
Then I realized, dude, it doesn't matter how smart you are, because I'm really not that smart, dude.
Yeah.
But one thing I am decent at is executing. And so what we've been implementing, I think this is good for anybody out there with the sales team. If you're in sales, dude, is instant execution on whatever you learn. So instant feedback loops. So Tristan, if he teaches me anything, which he has, instantly tomorrow I'm going to begin to execute.
Application.
Exactly.
If you
dude.
become a master of application opposed to a master of acquiring information, you will separate yourself like quickly as well. Because that's what most people are right now. They're master information acquirers. It is the most annoying thing in the world. People fill their schedule with, I'm going to read and YouTube and Google and ChatGPT and meetings and networks. When are you going to get on presentations, bro?
When are you going to work?
Yeah, when are you going to like call people and sell your product or service? When are you going to do revenue generating activities for your business? You know what I mean? Like, when is the last time you asked somebody to buy your product? Like, you're complaining about being broke. You asked one person this week to buy your product. The person that's getting their product or service in front of millions of people is making millions of dollars. And it's a common denominator across the board. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a mediocre product. So whoever sold me this Star Wars,
That's so
you know what
funny,
I mean? Like
dude.
AirPod case, this is a stupid product. This would cost a couple bucks.
You love that thing.
I love Star Wars. You know what I mean? But listen, you know what I mean? Like, people make millions of dollars off like Star Wars stuff.
Bands.
And silly bands, like the craziest products because of the marketing. So millions, I was telling the guy earlier today, I was like, millions is generated from becoming very good in marketing, and you can have a mediocre product. Billions is becoming very good at marketing and having a very good product. That's the only difference. You know what I mean? Everyone can make millions. Can you get the product? Marketing is just, can I get this in front of millions of people every year? That's all. Make millions. It doesn't matter what it is. And what's cool is like when people complain about not being able to make it in the insurance industry, it blows my mind. I was like, what's your product? Life insurance, health insurance. And I'm like, no, you sell money for fractions of the legitimate dollar. You know what I mean? Like, you're selling dollars for pennies, and you can sell it to everybody in America. There's 300 plus million Americans, and you're selling money, a penny per dollar, and you're still broke. Something's wrong.
Yeah, dude, something's really wrong. No, I mean, I think to take it back a little bit, dude, I remember when I first got in this game, bro, and I was just like, dang, you know what's crazy is there's two things that are guaranteed in life, taxes and death.
Yeah.
I wish it was freaking cookies and milk, bro.
Yeah.
Like, anything else. Like, why does that have to be two bad things, right?
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, everybody needs what we have. Everybody wants to leave their family a legacy. And all I have to do is just learn a couple words.
Yeah.
And then I can get my message across, and they're going to buy something. I make $500, $800, a couple $1,000s per deal. I'm like, dude, this is freaking unbelievable. Financial services is the #1 industry to make self-made millionaires. So if you're questioning yourself and you're thinking, okay, guys, I have that feeling in my heart of like, I am meant for more, but where do I go? Dude, I was in the same spot. I looked at car sales, door-to-door, insurance, high-ticket closing for courses, and I was like, insurance, hands down. Let's go.
Yeah. You know what industry actually, because I used to think it was the financial services industry as well.
What is it?
It's the one that you work in.
Oh, I like that.
Because everybody, because I've met so many, bro, because, you know, it probably actually like data-wise, statistically speaking, it's finance and like tech. But like when you really think about it, especially when you come to Miami or you go to a major city or you just bump into people, I've met garbage men that build a garbage man, you know, build a garbage company, made millions of dollars. You know, there was a guy I shared an office with in Chicago, was building a pickup dog poop company. Literally, like his business was just, hey, we're hiring people to go pick up dog poop out of people's yards. Bro went from 2 trucks in 2 years to like 30 trucks. You can't tell me he wasn't grossing $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, and people like are out there worried about the dumbest things. I was like, if you spent half the amount of time you do trying to find the easiest route, the best route, and you just found a route and you worked at it like a sick dog, obsessed, possessed by some vision, some dream of, I don't care what happens, how long it takes, the how is irrelevant. I know my why. I was built, I was made, I was born to do something special, to conquer this world. Myself, everybody that opposes me is getting destroyed. I will annihilate them and erase their family tutelage from the world.
Tristan's ready to go for
like
war.
You see, and that's the mindset is war. You know what I mean? Like when you have that mindset, you understand like the industry that makes the most millionaires is the one that you work in.
Yeah.
You know, not the one you think in, not the one you go to meetings in, not the one that you read in. It's the one that you work in. Work, get paid. Don't waste Proverbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Work and become a king. Don't work, become a slave.
Literally. No, I love that, dude. I've always believed in the grass is green where you water and then fail quick. Like, dude, fail fast. Like, seriously, like just go and fail
And why even
fast.
call it failing? You know what I mean? Like
It's only fail if you quit.
some brokey probably came up with the word fail, right? Like
Honestly.
I just look at it as like it's you're learning what not to do. Einstein, I think it was Einstein that said, when he was like, was it Einstein that did the light bulb or something like that?
Say.
Somebody,
no, it's Jefferson.
Thomas
Jefferson.
So
right?
There's a quote. If we looked up the light bulb quote, whoever
someone look up the light bulb quote. Yo.
Jarvis, pull up the light bulb quote.
Jarvis.
Yeah, bro. But I swear. So if you look up the entrepreneur that created the light bulb, he's like, I figured out 1,000 ways of what not to do. He didn't say I failed 1,000 times.
I love that. Dude.
Amateur people say they failed. Professionals, entrepreneurs, there's no failure because there's no plan B. It's like every entrepreneur, every guy in sales, one of the first books you read is Think and Grow Rich. And you read about the story of the captain that burned the ships at the bay. They kept losing. They kept losing the battle. They would go try to fight this enemy, and they were like, hey, this next time. And he didn't even tell the men. They march out onto the beach. The men look back. The ships are on fire. They look at the captain. What are you doing? Now we have no choice. We're going to win or we're going to die. You know what I mean? But like entrepreneurs, people that really make it, we don't fear death. It's a blessing. It's a blessing if this business wins, and it not winning is not an option. I'm going to win or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And it's been like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to win or I'm going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got a quick question. This is going to steer us off this topic.
No,
But so we were talking at dinner, and then, I was asking you and you and your girl, I said, all right, how'd y'all meet? And y'all had both funny stories. It was great. We were all laughing. And you were like, I made a post about obsession. I'm curious about that because you didn't get to finish your thought. Like, why were you looking for somebody that had that obsession? Yeah. Like, what does that mean to you? Because you're obviously obsessed.
Yeah, man.
But why did you want that trait in a woman? Out of curiosity.
Oh no, I was making a post in regard to recruiting tips for people running a company. So it wasn't. I was telling people running a sales team or sales company, like, if you're looking for a really high caliber individual, look for obsession. Look for like key obsessive traits, and like you can call it obsession or you can call it like addiction. So like, no wonder you did so well. You know what I mean? You had addictive, personality disorder or addictive whatever, like with it, like runs in your family. Everybody in your family would crush sales. Everybody in your family would be an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm looking for that addictive personality, that obsessive personality, and then looking to channel it in the right area. Because like, if I can help guide you of like, hey, listen, what if we took your obsession to drink, drugs, women, men, whatever you're obsessed with that isn't giving you a massive return on investment, and we just, because everything is giving you some form of return. It's either giving you a negative return and you're losing time and money, or it's giving you a positive return and you're gaining time and money. There is no in between. So it's not a matter of me looking at someone and judging them because, oh, you're drinking, you're doing drugs, or you're doing this, you're doing that. No, let's just help you select with your time, your energy, your resources to put it into the highest possible ROI for your life. And so that's where I like to try to identify that's an obsessive person. Now, what if we used life insurance to take you from getting drunk every day, wasting your time with a bunch of low-level girls, to getting rich and finding an amazing queen, conquering the world, becoming a king, power, money, or, recognition. You know what I mean? Like, what if we made that your life? Do you want to be the most powerful man in the room? Do you want the most recognition in the world? Do you want to be able to provide for your woman, your family, and them never second guess your power and who you are as a man? If you want that, let's take your obsession. We're going to channel it to this area, these areas for the next 20 years, and you'll have it and more. So that's why I look for obsession, because it's the easiest. Like, people are like, bring your resume. I don't need your resume, bro.
I don't know.
Are you obsessed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you can
How do you gauge that?
I gauge it by, listen, I gauge not a man's words. I gauge his actions.
Yeah.
Bring me your action report for the last 3 years. You know what your action report is? It's your body. I like when Andy Elliott's like, hey, take your shirt off. Well, we just see how obsessed you are. You know what I mean? Or how not obsessed you are. You're either obsessed with Cheetos or you're obsessed with looking like a king. You know what I mean? Milk. Exactly, bro. Exactly. So it's like, we can, like, I just want to see the action. Like Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch. So, I'm all about that action.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. I don't care what your intentions are. You know what I mean? Bigger men have fallen. That's why it's like, there's nothing intimidating to me in this world, and the only thing I respect is action. What else would I respect? Show me your habit. Show me your action. Then you'll show me everything I need to know.
Yeah. No, dude, 110%. Now, a couple of things I was thinking about is I think like one thing I've noticed when Titans fall, it's because they begin to idolize other people and then they start idolizing themselves.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be real. Like that's what I pray over myself all the time. Is like, please God, keep me humble, because there's somewhere in there that says like, God, if I get too rich, I don't need you anymore. But if I have too poor, I'm gonna have to steal and then hurt
Proverbs.
Proverbs, right?
Yeah.
And dude, I love that. I pray that over myself so frequently, because like in order for me to go and serve the masses and help people truly, I have to stay humble. I can never idolize myself.
Yeah.
And I think like to be completely transparent, it is challenging when you see over 6 figures a month come in your bank account and you're like, oh, I am a G.
Yeah.
Right? In the eyes of the world. But like, dude, to God, he's like, bro, it don't matter, baby.
It don't matter
like,
at all.
Dude, all I care about is you just go help people, bro. You share a light.
And also, it doesn't matter to the guy that spends 6 figures on breakfast.
Exactly.
You know what I
dude.
mean?
That'd be
So,
a lot
like,
of scrambled eggs.
Yeah, there's so many crazy levels. Like the dude I was talking to in the gym this morning, I was like, so what are your expenses just for your jet and yacht? Just for his jet and yacht, like just for the maintenance monthly of like keeping the jet in the hangar, keeping the yacht at the dock, whatever, and keeping the maintenance, $350,000. He's like, yeah, just before anything else, bro. He's got whips and mortgages and all across. And I was like,
How many goats?
yeah, bro, literally. Like, like just to put things into perspective, because we're over here like, yeah, I've been there where it's like, damn, dude, I need to make 70 grand this month to break even. You know what I mean?
Literally.
And then you got guys that are, but it's like, it's part of the process. He's been doing it for almost 20 years. That's what I told him this morning. I was like, bro, I was like, should I be buying Bitcoin or should I just keep focusing on my business? Because I keep seeing everybody talk about they're going to be a billionaire off Bitcoin. He was like, don't even ask that dumb shit.
Yeah.
He's like, don't even ask. Like, what are you talking about, bro? You know the answer to this question. How many times do I have to tell you? The cost of distraction is the biggest thing that will destroy you. What is the big picture? All in, nothing else. Tunnel vision. Because he's like, even the fact that you're thinking on that is the cost of thought space. So it's messing with your thought. We missed out on the camera over here.
Oh, I was going to put notes up to tell you
Lean into the mic? Okay. No, I was like, oh, God.
I was like,
let me
oh.
catch it. No.
I was like, this is my good angle.
Yeah.
That's the only freaking.
I do that. I start getting comfortable and I start leaning back. And I'm like, oh,
I know. I peeped that out.
this mic will pick it up, but I don't care.
I keep wanting to grab this thing. I want to stand up
Yeah,
and start
grab
yelling.
it, start singing. But no, dude, seriously, like cost of thought, cost of distraction.
Dude, that's powerful,
It's immeasurable.
bro. I have not like heard someone articulate that way, because it's
It was incredible, dude. Because like we get so caught up in like, I need to be a billionaire right now because of the amount of time and energy we think we've put in. In the grand scheme of things, like the agent that comes to you in 6 months in complaining that they don't have your life, what do you think?
dude, I'm like, bro, you haven't spent the time.
Yeah, well, not the time, the reps.
The reps, yeah.
Yeah,
time under tension.
Time is man-made. Where does the Bible say God created the 24-hour clock?
Dude, time was invented like pretty recently, bro. A couple hundred years or something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I know I sound nuts when I start talking about that, but it's like, when God created the world and the universe and everything like that, He said, "Let there be light, let there be a moon, let there be the earth." He didn't say, "Hey, let there be this time per se." And that might sound nuts, but I believe in repetition with the sunlight and the moonlight. What can you do between the rotation of the two? How much action can you get done? Because somebody could come to me and say, "Hey, man, I should be a lot further along these last 6 months than I am." I'd say, "I agree. What do you think you could have done differently?"
Mm-hmm.
And if they give me some BS of like, "Oh, I could have read this and you could have trained me better," and I was like, "No, I feel like Yoda. No, this is not it. You're wrong." You know what I mean? Like it's more reps. If you can find a way to consolidate and condense 10 years per se of reps, well, however many reps I've gotten in over the last 7 years, if you could get that in 7 weeks, then yes, you can have what I've gotten over 7 years into 7 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we can do what Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all these guys have accomplished if we can re-engineer the formula of what they've done over the last 30, 40 years to build their empires into 30 months. You know what I mean? All it is math, numbers of they've gotten a product service in front of X amount of people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what I look at when people are like when I look at the guy that's 20 years ahead of me, I was like, well, if I could figure out, how much revenue did he generate and what would that translate into my business? Now I just have to reverse engineer for how many reps would it require? So it's like, it's super simple. Again, It goes back to the marketing and the quality of the product. The quality of the marketing is everything. If you want to go to billions, it's both.
Yeah, no, dude, I like what you said about the rep thing because I always think about like if we go to the gym, right, and we're just, we're hitting the bars, whatever, we're hitting the weights, it breaks down our muscle. It is painful. We are sore, dude, but then you begin to love that process. And I think what happens is when reps are going through that, like, dang, dude, this sucks, bro. I'm getting so many no's, dude. I didn't close this late. I didn't close, blah, 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 blah. It's like, nah, bro. You're breaking in the muscle, dog.
Yeah, facts.
You're about to get stronger, dude. Yeah. And the next thing you know, dude, you're about to lift that weight. And then once you lift that weight, it just starts feeling easy. Then you move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, bro.
It's fire, bro.
It's beautiful.
Hey, as we wrap up on the hour, where can people, and we'll use this, I want to use this 30 to 60 seconds of just you shouting out your business and where people can find you.
Yeah.
Why should people work with you? Maybe throw in your phone number. I did that when I did the podcast with Andy Elliott. That worked.
Yeah, dude, 100%. All right, so first things first. So the best way to find me and really get to know me is going to be my Instagram. It's just Hawkins Wylie, HAWKINS Now my phone number is 970-948-6022, and I'll tell you a couple things, dude. I believe in my whole entire heart, dude, we're about to shake up the whole entire sales world. Hands down, dude, as long as God keeps me healthy, bro, we are here to stay for a long time. And it's not because of me, dude. It's because we have 150 people all serving the same mission, dude. We are all lifting each other up. Dude, what we do is when you come on board with us, bro, you get so much hands-on training. It's so ridiculous. You would have to be dude, you couldn't fail. I could bring a monkey into my business and teach him how to make $10,000 if they spoke a little English. We have a kid named Muhammad. I'm sorry about your last name, brother, but Muhammad. Dude, he was born and raised in Palestine. Barely speaks English. You can hardly understand him. He would put this script into Google Translate, listen to it, and then he'd learn how to articulate his words. Dude, he just had his worst month ever, made $18,000. Wow. Exactly, dude. But here's the deal, dude, is our competitive edge, which I asked you earlier, is seriously, we are the most selfless team you will ever meet in your life, bro, because it is not me, dude. I am hardly good at anything. There's only a handful of things, but my downfalls is where the team picks each other up. This guy's downfall, what he's not good at, I might be good at, and we all lift each other up, because what's been happening, dude, is it's literally we're just locking arms, and it's becoming a brick by brick by brick by brick machine. And the cool thing is, dude, is one of the best things is, besides the result and the money, dude, is we are genuinely having so much fun, dog. Yeah. Dude, straight up, if you're not having fun, dude, it does get hard to do. And you will have to go through seasons where it's not enjoyable. There is pain, right? But dude, we're bringing freaking flags to our convention. We're going to wave them around like we're a band of pirates, bro, and just hoot and holler and cheer each other on, dude, because the guy on the stage for the first time in his life, dude, he's going to be nervous. He's not going to know how to deliver the message an OG the first time, dude. And that is our job, bro, is to pick each other up, man. So if you're out there, bro, and you want to be picked up, you want to be loved on, dude, and you want to go to fucking work, and you straight up dude, we will challenge the hell out of you. Any ounce of potential, our whole goal is to squeeze it out of each other. And that includes myself. I'm going to require Tristan to make me better and vice versa, dude. This is how the relationship works. So if you're out there, 970-948-6022. Let's lock in, baby.
Let's go. Fire podcast, bro.
I appreciate you,
yeah,
man.
Absolutely.
I do.
Let's go. Awesome work.